Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As you might remember from my review on the BZ58, I didn't like it too much. I didn't do so good with it. I wasn't doing so well. I think that colored my opinion. Plus, I didn't really wait for any stats to come out, and I called it slightly below average. I think I'm going to have to revise potentially, not potentially, definitely, that opinion. As of right now, it is top 5 at tier 7 in Tech Tree Tanks. We'll see where it pans out at the end of the day, but I don't think it's going to lose a lot of ground. What I think is potentially happening here, to some extent, is people are figuring out how to use the rockets. And it turns out, at least in my opinion, my early opinion here, is that they do have some definite advantages. And in general, it's not necessarily the rage forward and get into a shooting position, which is important. Early damage is good. But if you can save some actuations, there are things you can do later in the game that are really very interesting for a tank like this. So here we are. I'm going to show you a good game that I had, because why would I show you bad games? That's for Monday. I pretend that all of my matches go this way. That's how CCs roll. But that being said, there's some good stuff in here on ways that this thing can operate with the rockets. So we're going to take a look at that. Like I said, this is a game where I'm starting to kind of get the hang of this tank. I can use this -10 depression because we are here on Himmel's Westfield Dorf. We are middle tier, and there are some 6s to beat up, but there's a big bad up there, the 100-01. We'll get to him in just a minute. And plenty of other heavy tanks and some arty and whatnot going on. So let's just see how this thing goes. Like I said, I much appreciated your support, or I appreciate muchly. I support you, me, do. I don't know. All right. First rocket activation. This one has 3. The tier 8 has 4. The 9 has 5, and the 10 has 6. And it got me to this position, which puts me pretty well out in front of most of my colleagues here. You can see that we do have a tier 8 heavy. It is the IS-22. He's head over that way. A couple TDs are going to sit in the back, and I'm going to have some 6s up here helping me out. 1357 does us a solid. He comes up and over, and he kind of lets us know where they're going. And I don't really see a whole lot of guys getting right up into our faces quickly, so that's going to give me some options. Now, I have 2 things I could do here. I could hit rocket again and get up to the top and kind of slam on the brakes. You do want to be careful with the rockets in situations like this, because I don't need 10 seconds of rocket to get up to the hill. And I really don't think it's going to help me even if I did it. So I'm just going to accept that I roll up to the hill standard speed, because they're so far out there right now. Notice that none of them are right up in there. I feel like I'm going to get up and over and get a shot on these guys before anybody can really get a shot back on me. And that is all due to a nice little scouting run by the 1357. He also managed to not take any damage, which was fantastic. So now we have that info. So now I have 2 rocket actuations. Like I said, things are going better. My DPG is coming up. My win rate's coming up. I am now at about 45%. Remember, I was in the 30s or so. Maybe even the 20s when I made the video. So it's still going to be a long slog, but things are going much better. And the most important piece is the DPG has definitely come up into where the rest of my tier 7s are. All right, because I know that they really don't have anybody right here in front of me, and that it is an AT-7, which I've already punished, and he's probably backing up, and there's a derpy KV-3, which I think is stock in terms of the gun. I don't really expect, and none of these guys are looking at me, I didn't really expect to get shot doing this, so this is going to give me some options until they start paying attention to me. Now this thing does have a bit of a long reload, so you have to be careful with that. Cromwell's maybe thinking about it. This 45 TP, I don't know why, is completely ignoring what I'm doing. So he eats 2 shots. I'll spit it out. Looks like the KV-3 took a stab at me, and now I'm just waiting for the reload on this guy. We'll let it zoom in. I'm going to hit the ground. Nope, actually I hit him and bounced or missed, or I don't know what happened there. Something. No damage was had. Now he's still trying to get up there. This is really a bad idea for you heavy drivers who are trying to learn the game. That's not really what you want to do. There's that pretty decent armor working for me, so I get a bounce off that guy. He actually reloads a lot faster than I expected, because I think I eat a shot from him right here. Yep, there we go. But I bounce again, so 480 damage. Takes a couple shots at me. And things are going okay, but notice that the big bad, the 100-01 up there, is starting to get busy beating up our guys. For the moment, the IS-22 is kind of trying to deal with him, but we got 2 6s sort of just peeking and poking at him. They're going to have a hard time. So pretty quickly here, I'm going to have to deal with him. So it's looking like I'm going to get another nice shot on this guy. And then maybe someone will kill him. Holding on to the rockets. I don't need to use them right now. I don't want to go zinging up and over. I think I missed this shot. This is where I take a hit. Yeah, so I eat a shot. Looks like an HE shot for 3. Comes raging in there. And the AT goes dark, so I don't have a shot on that guy. Now I'm seeing the 100-01, and pretty soon here I'm going to have to go over there and deal with him. So I'm already up to 2,000 damage. Take a peek at these guys in case they are shottable. They do not appear to be, and the 100-01 looks like he's making his move here. Starting to push in. And there's nothing else going on. So the fight's over here. Let's head over and support the IS-22. He's doing good work on the 2 tier 6s behind there, and the 100-01. I can tell by the way he's charging in, he thinks he wants to come in and clean up whatever's sitting over here. It's just a couple tier 6s. So I'm going to come in here and try to help disabuse him of that notion. Unfortunately, it doesn't track. I'm going to go up and buy him. All right, he takes a shot at me or one. I don't know, I think he just missed. And this is where it gets interesting with the rocket. All right, I eat the artillery shot, and now I'm coming up beside him. I've got him auto-aim. Now, the reason I'm auto-aiming him and not worrying about it too much is I know this thing is really tall, and I know I'm fairly low slung, and I can tell by the aiming point that I'm not up high where I might get a weird angle, so this is probably just going to pen all day, and I don't have to really pay close attention to where I'm aiming. And I'm also thinking about something else here, which you may be thinking about the same thing. This was kind of an aha moment for me. Now, we scrape him off a bit. Okay, we use that. I wish I could tell you that I intended to maneuver him into knocking into the T-150, but I didn't. That does allow me then to kind of hang out beside him on his side. Now he's working away from it, and now I see his turret coming towards me. So see how slowly that thing's moving? He's probably near a reload. Boom. Just go rocketing away. That is unfortunate. The auto-aim let me down there, so that's a great example of why not to auto-aim. I sort of was assuming it was already aiming at his rear, but look where it was. It just went right into his side. So if I'd have unlocked and aimed right there, I would have put the damage on him. But I'm using the rocket for the old zoom on by trick. Look at that. Just got away from him. Now the bummer here is, for a little while, I only have a 1 km/h backwards capability, but it will burn out here in a second. That's going to allow me to come back in here, and we'll shoot this guy in the side again. And now go for some more cover. And he's trying to make a runner. See if we can avoid getting shot by him. Now he's looking at that guy running off. And unfortunately, I think I bounced off my own guy. But he is getting absolutely swarmed by the 2 little tanks, and we take this dude out. Come up and over, and we get that guy. Unfortunately, I don't get the kill. All right, boom. Now I hit the rockets again, and the reason is I want to get to the rest of the damage. The rest of the damage and the tanks are down here in this area. I'm not going to bother with the guys that are sitting over here for a minute. Let's go down here and kill these things. So repositioning is a big deal. All right, there's another example of being careful. If I clipped that, I probably just get stopped. It's going to be really hard for me to get off that guy, especially with only 5 seconds left. So I barely miss him, and the bummer is your turning is very limited. I'm going to come up here and actually shoot him. There he is. Get one on him. I don't think he actually sees me. I think his view range is at stock. He probably has a bad crew. Is so bad he's just not seeing me. I could have still been lit. I don't know. Very strange. Maybe he was shooting at me. Don't know. I'm about out of gold at this point. Down he goes. All right. You see the AT-7. We're up to 3,049 damage. That was to be expected. I think I actually tried to hit the rockets here, but I didn't have any. And we're going to speed this thing up because we come down this way. Shift over to the right. And we're really looking for that Su-130 PM. Where is that guy? They kind of gang tackle the AT-7 down by the cap, or down by the spawn, I suppose. Actually, it's not even the spawn, is it? Because this is an encounter game, so they're just chasing that guy down into the pit, which is of little importance on this particular mode. We're waiting for all this to happen. The Jackson dies, and I know the C-130 is down there. Nobody's going. I sit there for a second. We'll just speed it up, and I head on down.
Got a hit.
That was an HE shot that only did 156, of course. Some kind of critical. I guess I hit the gun or the track or something. We're going to come up here. We're going to find this guy again. Basically sitting off to my right. Another HE shell, and we get 129. Only I can really accomplish that kind of thing. We'll just be careful here. We'll shoot him. We get a bounce. Nice, right? Hold down, a little bit of extra angle, and there you go. 3,679, 325 assists, and just a couple examples of rocket use. So I'm going to have a video of just talking about rocket use, but in general, I'm using 1 to half of my rockets, and this is a general idea. It's not a hard and fast because it's map dependent as well. But if I have a bit of a drive, or I can create an advantage by getting there quickly without using all of my rockets, then I'll use a couple of them. If the whole herd is kind of flowing slowly and there's not a lot of advantage to me getting out ahead of them and getting a free shot somewhere, depending on, again, the map and the mode, then I'll hang out with them and I'll hold as many of the rockets as I can. I do find, based on the slow speed of these things, that you kind of need to use one of them in the positioning phase, in the deployment phase, or else you're going to fall way behind most, even regular heavies. You know, it's not 100-01 slow, but it's not fast. And I'm not running a turbo right now. Then later in the game, we're learning on ways that you can use the rocket to reposition, to ram people potentially, to do what I did to the 100-01 to get out of his line of fire and get to cover and hide. So he spends time chasing me with his turret and never gets the shot, that kind of stuff. So there you go. I'm starting to like this tank a bit more. I'm getting a little bit better with using the rockets. A lot of it was bad luck anyway, and I have to definitely eat a little crow and revise my estimate on this thing. It is right now looking slightly above average overall, and one of the better tech tree tanks at tier 7. So there you go, man. Let me know what you think about it down below. I know some of you said you liked it quite a bit. Has your opinion changed? Are you getting better with the rockets? Are you finding them to be as useful as I do in some cases? That's all I've got, guys. Let me know down in the comments. We will see ya.